Hi. Don't things just seem suspiciously too good right now? And I know that's not the problem of an average person. Okay, wait, like, why did my life suddenly turn to be so easy? Only genuinely intelligent people consider these things. Other people would just go about their lives and they're like, oh, nice, nice, a good season of my life, finally. We're not those people, which is why you clicked on the video. But hey, I'm Toriah. You probably have not met me yet because this is an absolutely bare channel. I really hope that from this video you get some sort of comfort or explanation or tip of action, because we're going to be talking about absolutely all of that. We're going to fix this feeling and explain why this feels too good right now, both with real life examples, because that's how you actually solidify knowledge. This channel is for a very specific type of person. And hopefully that's you, because I haven't been able to find a channel specific to what we're going to be talking about here. My hope is that this grows as big as possible so that we can reach more and more people like yourself. This is Wizard, in case you haven't met him. He's my little co-host. His actual name is Solus. Me, Wizard, and you are about to talk about it because it's an uncomfortable conversation. It's also an uncomfortable realization. Why is it too good? And you get suspicious about it. You're like, oh, like what if a bad thing is about to happen? I'm sure there's a name. There's definitely a name for this feeling of anxiety that everything has been going so swell that something's about to go south. And we're here to actually make an outcome out of that. Because we're people who reflect and we're people who learn. No. If you've watched any of the videos, you will know that he runs away because I have a big mirror, 2 mirrors in this room. The more and more you watch our YouTube videos, you will notice that he does all sorts of weird things. He'll attack himself in the mirror, he'll jump off the chair. What are you doing? Explain. Why are you interrupting this video? We gotta keep our kids accountable, guys. Just to give a bit of my own credibility, obviously you don't know my story yet, and I don't know yours yet. Please feel free to share in the comments. I read every single comment. This channel is so small, we can literally be best friends at this point. I will read your comment, I promise. Currently, life is so good. And for the last 4 months, it's been fine. But from the ages of 9 to 16, there was always some sort of force that I felt like I couldn't control. And that came in the form of my dad. That came in the form of school. That came in the form of friends. Like quite common things that are part of the human experience. So most people experience these things, but they don't reflect or make something out of it. I really wanted to try to make something out of it. So I started to mend these problems and I started to become a better person and I started to go to the gym. Gym was a huge thing. I feel like mentally strong is physically strong is mentally strong. It takes both to keep yourself at the best possible condition. And it's weird because from my perspective, after all these years of just having problems and problems and problems, finally there's this period of peace for 4 months now. And that 4 months I'm starting to count since I haven't gone back to school traditionally. I used to be in a traditional high school. I'm 17. It was just torture for me. Like really, I woke up every single day and it was so hard to get up and to school. I would skip a lot. I didn't like to be there. I just decided, man, like, I'm about to finish school. Like, I have 1 more year left, but a whole year of my life is a lot. And I'm not willing to give that up. Your youth is so important because time, right now, you can multiply it like crazy. And even I forget this concept. So don't underestimate a day. Don't underestimate a week. Don't underestimate a month. And I was not going to underestimate another year. So I went ahead and I moved into module-based learning, which means that I go into school 1 day a week now. I hand in my modules. It's a lot more efficient for me, and I don't have to physically be in the building for 8 hours a day, which is really, really nice. But because I've had schooling every single day for so many years, like financial problems, whatever it is that you're having. You saw that, right? But after having so much schooling, and I think school, university, and work are kind of the same concept with what we're about to talk about because they take up so much of your time. Of course, we have weekends, of course, we have breaks, we have vacations. But what if you have months of uncoordinated time that isn't dedicated to one of those three? You literally have to have such self-control, which this society and this generation like just does not have. This time period does not have anymore. There's YouTube shorts. YouTube copied TikTok. First came TikTok, then came Instagram, then came Facebook. They all started having short form content. Then came YouTube short form content. So everywhere there's short form content, everyone's learning to have like no one has impulse control. You can just hear him in the back crashing into himself. As we're talking about brain rot, bro, you need to stop crashing out. In terms of just this free time that you're not used to, because generally you're in this facility, you're somewhere, you're doing something that other people are telling you to do or that you're mandated to do, right? Like we have to go get this education. Usually parents don't just sign kids off or make them drop out to do something else. That's rare. You know, like working on a farm, like parents need you more and they want you to take over that business. That's rare. The most of the scenario is that we go to school, we have to be there, we do what we're told. Okay, most people go to college, so I'm gonna go to college. Or I'll go to work. Or after college, I'll go to work. And then at work, I'm also told what to do. There are things I have to manage and, things I have to accomplish. And there's always just this agenda that you're not in charge of. And the moment that I went into module-based learning, I had so much more free time. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to focus on social media and also focus on my business. And I actually started making more from my business the moment I left school. But I still have this trouble of trying to comprehend that I have this free time, but I also want to keep this free time because I've been able to do so many good things. And just this freedom of I do whatever I want whenever I want. I go to school when I want. I hand in a module when I want. I look for clients when I want. There's so much freedom in that. And because all these years of being told to do certain things and having no impulse control in this society, in this generation, I heavily recommend quitting scrolling. That will give you so much benefit. It'll be immense. One, the time that you're wasting there, and two, also just the way you're programming your brain to live and think, because that's how you're programming your brain to live. School's programming your brain to live a certain way. So is college. So is work. Not saying quit your job, not saying drop out of college, not saying drop out of high school, not saying you have to do what I did. But I'm just saying make sure you can still have independent thought, because it's also important if you are in these three things and you plan to do one or two or three of these things. After the school day ends, you come home. And then it's your decision on what you do next. So this is crucial either way. Because eventually you go through the amount of situations you go through, which is also why you might feel that like, oh, life is too good right now. Because you've been in that situation before, and now if it comes again, you're like, your brain just automatically identifies, oh, that's that situation. Okay, so I'm gonna treat it this way. And once you build that up to the relationships in your life, I don't have problems with friends anymore. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of friends, but I also would rather prefer it that way. And if I ever do interact with someone, it generally goes really well. I very rarely have negative interactions. With clients, I've grown and I've actually really learned how to communicate with them, which I used to have trouble with. So now that's not really a challenge anymore. So eventually you get through to this rhythm of I know exactly what to do. And then that's when life kind of feels like, oh, it's become a little easy. And because you're watching this video, because if you're relating to what I'm saying and you understand it and you can somehow see it as a reflection in your own life, then you understand that there's something you need to do about it. There's something you need to fix or try to improve. I will just share the things that I've been doing, and I've been struggling with time management. I'll be very honest, it's been really hard because I used to have a lot of negative emotions. I used to have anger towards people and towards the school system, and I just used to have a lot of emotion. And I used to go and bring that into the gym. And I would use these emotions to go to the gym. That was my motivation. It's like, man, like I'm so angry, but instead of going and like doing something, I'm just gonna put it into these weights and better my own life because like screw these people. That was kind of the mindset, but now I'm so at peace for the last 4 months. I'm not beefing with anybody. Even if they were to have said something upsetting, I get over it so fast, it doesn't affect my life anymore. So I'm kind of at this point of, man, I don't go gym off these emotions anymore. And for the last 4 months, I've noticed that lifting these weights has been harder. Physically going there has become harder because I'm not running off of what I usually had to run off of. So now I have to find a source of something else. So my personal struggles have been working out and also time management. I've tried a couple things. Obviously, I've had 4 months, so obviously I've tried multiple things, and I found the thing that works for me best. And I've also found just ways to keep myself accountable. I don't want you to feel guilty right now over the fact that you haven't done these things. Just take a second and realize that you're here right now and you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to apply yourself. Like you're trying to find a way to make things a little better. And I just want to express to you, I'm going to go and I'm going to show you all the things that I have to do to try to keep myself on track because there are so many distractions. There's this concept, I really forget who it's from, but it's the concept of signal versus noise. Signal is what you're supposed to be doing, is what, if you were to have a to-do list, everything on it would be moving your life forward. Signal is things that move your life forward that you do daily. That is your daily signal. And daily noise, it happens. So the rule, I know it was a guy who came up with this. 80% of your day should be signal. 20% of your day should be noise because things come along. You know, family's gonna want things. Something's gonna happen. You're gonna have to go. Alô, sir?
Ja moje pytanie na zasypku. Masz 5 sekund?
Yeah.
Dobrze.
Bye-bye. Did you see that? That was a perfect example of noise. I'm trying to do something off my list. I'm trying to focus on my signal, which is filming this for you. And my dad calls in the middle of the video, which he actually did last video. It's funny. He always catches me at like such a time. So that is noise. Noise is gonna happen. These phone calls are gonna come in. So you have to leave a little bit of grace and a little bit of space for just events in your life that are going to happen and that you will have to deal with in the moment. This is something I have to deal with in the moment. I have to pick the phone up. This is my dad. But I still want to focus on something that will move my life forward. And that's one concept that has really helped me see my day differently. Is that signal or is that noise? How much signal do I have? How much noise I have? But we're just gonna go on a little bit of a trip and I'm gonna show you all the things that I have to do, getting our slippers on, that I have to do to actually keep focused. And you can take some ideas from it, please do. It has taken a lot for me I slowly have collected these things that I'm like, okay, this could help me, this could help me, this could help me, this works for me, this doesn't, throw that out, keep this. So I'm constantly doing all the variables. I'm like, okay, these variables work well together. And you have to kind of do the same. You know, you can't copy my formula exactly and then expect your life to be the best tomorrow. Because most people, and in this day and age, it's really hard to stay focused. It's really hard to keep on that signal. So let me just show you really quickly what I do to stay on my signal. Us going on our little trip. Gotta take our light. The daily schedule. This is like, I carry this everywhere with me. It's almost running out of paper, so I'm really sad, but I'll have to find another one. This has changed my life. I carry it absolutely everywhere with me. Let's set you up. I would have had to keep all those things in my head. Try having a to-do list of, it gives you a visual of the things you have to do. Think of all the promises you've made to people where it's like, okay, meeting tomorrow at this time. Okay, this comes up. If some noise comes in, someone calls you and they're like, okay, I need something like this. And you're like, okay, I'll get that done for you Monday. You could finish it early. You could put it on your schedule. You could visually see how much you have to do, what's important, what's not as important. You can automatically scan through. You have a visual of what moves your life forward and what you need to get done. This has been hands down the most helpful. I do this daily. Look, and while we're at it, we have these nice scented highlighters, and we're just gonna film Toriah vid. Done. There's also just kind of this satisfaction of marking it off with a highlighter that gives you this like dopamine boost reward of I got this done. So you can get addicted instead of to your phone. You can get addicted to your to-do list. Holy moly macaroni. Take a look at this. This is a vision board and I stare at it. This is my bed. I stare at it before I go to sleep and then in the morning when I wake up, it's in my face. I can't avoid it. So I'll take time to actually read it and look through it and see all these things that I aspire my life to become. I also have scriptures on the wall because God is a truly important part of my life. And I think everything that has been a blessing to me has also come through him. I have him in my heart while I film these videos. I do this with the intention of finding people like me who wouldn't find this sort of connection elsewhere because I haven't found it elsewhere. So part of this channel is actually quite selfish because I'm looking for people like me, and that's one of my main reasons for starting this channel. It would be such a blessing to, and I always say that it would be such a blessing to see somebody one day and have them come up to me and be like, whoa, like this habit, this video, this thing you said, it really got me thinking. It really changed this part of my life. It changed my relationship. It changed the way I see things. And having somebody come up to me and tell me that would just be the best gift ever. And I would love to go and have a coffee sometime, have a tea sometime, be like, hey, see that coffee shop? Let's go talk about it. Like, I want to know about your life. If you're watching me, you're probably quite interesting because you're trying to improve your life. You actually do interesting things. You don't just scroll on your phone. You're doing interesting things. And I'm so proud of you for that. Now that we've done our little pep talk and my skin is really red from this guy, next, I have my goal. I have the goal and purpose of my life, and I actually got this from Think and Grow Rich. Next, I have my goal written out. I read it daily, and it kind of sounds like I know the amount of money I want to make. I know that I want to influence people. I know that it's all coming to me with time, and I know that I have to act for it to happen. That's so important. I try to repeat it daily. It's on my list. That's one of the daily things I have to do. I always try to read it out loud so that I can hear myself say it. And I don't just say it automatically. I really try to focus in on it and realize that these things need action. Last thing is also I got it from Think and Grow Rich, which I really recommend reading books, but I also recommend checking out my book channel where I actually talk about these things. I take notes on books and I summarize it for you to see if this would be a helpful book, if you need it in communication. And I summarize the main points. And this is something I took out of Think and Grow Rich. And I'll actually just link the on my channel so you can see me there as well. I have a little bit more subscribers there than I do here. That one's a little bit less sad than this one. But I read my auto suggestion. I call it my auto suggestion. And kind of the basis of it, you can I'll show you the text clearly. You can pause it, you can read it if you'd like. And the fourth thing is actually a reflection of this. I've clearly written down a description of my defined chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. That's this. My chief aim in life currently is that, and then this is my auto suggestion convincing me that I have the ability to take the actions to actually achieve that. I also have a list to track all the days that I do exercise and don't, and then I have a period tracker because I'm a chick. I love visual representations because sometimes we go through life and we have no idea how we're actually doing because we don't reflect on ourselves as much. But if you have a visual representation right in front of you, it's so much easier. You're making your life so much easier and so much more comprehensible. He literally just found a corner to go sleep in. So I'm gonna go put him to bed so he can have his nap time. Luckiest guy in the world. I know that you'd probably want a lizard to sleep in your bed too, but I have this little blanket for him. And then he gets a second blanket. And he's always so good when he sleeps in my bed. Good night, lizard. At this point, if you're still here, I am so glad that you joined me for this video. And if I said anything that you actually related to, I would love for you to check out my channel and to subscribe so that I could see you again. I would love for us to become friends. So please go say hi to me in the comments so that I can come say hi to you back. I read all of them. And I'm so glad that you were here today. I hope that I planted a seed today, and I hope that it blossoms and grows in you.